Hey friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Tirso. I try my best to answer all of your questions in the comments, but I do think some deserve longer explanations. So I wanted to create a Q&A series where I answer your design and career questions. I don't want the videos to be completely random, so I did group them into themes. This video is all about career pressure. Here is a preview of the questions, so you can skip around. If you have other questions you'd like me to answer in a future Q&A, drop them in the comments below. We have all been here, and we always promise ourselves that it won't happen again, yet it always does. But let's not dwell on what didn't happen and just focus on what you can do. I've actually had to do this for 2 freelance projects in the past year, which is slightly different, but it's the same idea. The first step is admitting you have a problem. Joking, the real first step is to get organized. I have a hard drive of all of my projects, and each folder has high-res JPEGs that I can easily grab. Some of you, like myself, have a lot of projects, but you don't have to review all of them because you already know which are your strongest projects. Next, you have to put something together so you could send it out. Literally anything. If you have a website and the projects are old, just replace 2 to 3 projects, and that can easily be done in a couple of hours. If you don't have a website, I would recommend putting together a capabilities deck. Don't overthink this. We are working fast and furious, not driving Miss Daisy. This approach isn't as robust as a website, but it is still something that you can send out. It also comes together pretty quickly. I would say work in whichever software you're most comfortable with. Even better, if you're in Figma, you can just skip the PDF and send a prototype link. Here is what I put together for my quick and Imposter portfolio. I didn't even have case studies, which is fine. I should caveat that this is a band-aid, not a solution. It is not meant to be your official portfolio. It just buys you time to put together a more thought-out portfolio after. At the very least, your immediate problem of being able to apply for jobs is mostly solved. When it comes to freelance, growth isn't exactly linear, and I think this depends if you're defining it as working on bigger freelance projects or if you're wanting to climb the corporate ladder. If you want to work on bigger freelance projects, unfortunately, there isn't really a way around the portfolio. Clients can't imagine where you want to go next, so this is where a passion project comes in, and it should be one that reflects the kind of work you want to be doing. It does need to maintain or exceed the standard of your other portfolio pieces, and just because this is spec work, you still need a brief in order to present it properly. That means creating client goals, deliverables, etc., all the things that you would work with on an actual project. Now, if you want to climb the corporate ladder, the easiest route, easy in air quotes because of the current job market, but try to get a job in the same space and level that you've been working at. It is a much smoother transition, and you can grow into new roles from there. This can lead to bigger, more exciting projects within the job itself, or freelance if you decide to go back to that in the future. I've gone freelance 3 times in my career, and I will say I wouldn't have the projects that I have today had I not climbed the corporate ladder. And I'm not saying that you have to do that, but there are advantages, like expanding your network, officially getting that art director or creative director title, and gaining exposure to projects that wouldn't typically come your way as an independent freelancer. No matter which direction you choose, as long as the work excites you and keeps you going creatively, that's growth. I have good news and bad news. The bad news is that the final hiring decision is completely nuanced, and a lot of it is just out of your control. They may have had an internal reference. If you had to do a design test, some of the design choices may have tipped their application in their favor. None of this is fair, but it definitely happens. The good news, actually great news, if you're getting to the final stages of the interview process, that means your portfolio is clearly strong enough to get a job, which is a step ahead of most other people, and a lot of people don't even get a call back. So I would just say keep applying, and it's only a matter of time until the wind, the moon, and the stars align for you. This is a classic case of imposter syndrome. A lot of us deal with it our entire careers, including myself. I think the best advice I could give you is to not measure your work based off of someone else's ruler. There will always be someone better than you. I mean, we can't all be a Gail Bickler or a Felix Fafley. Something to consider with your portfolio is that it doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to show potential. I've reviewed a lot of junior portfolios, and the things that I look for are a solid grasp of typography, layout, and color. These are foundational, and I don't think they can be really taught on the job. I also look for a breadth of work that shows that you've explored different formats. And last, which I think is the most important, is showing your point of view as a designer. I would say this is a good baseline for defining good enough. From my experience, I didn't go to a big New York City art school, and when I saw the portfolios from RISD, SVA, Parsons, or Pratt, I wanted to light myself on fire. But what I slowly found out was that your work can get you through the door, but how you present yourself gets you the job. If you're not hearing back, your work may not be the problem, but instead your approach. Again, it depends. Where are you coming from? If you are working at the Herald in Piedmont, North Dakota, it's probably going to be really tough to go to LVMH or a Wieden and Kennedy. Piedmont, North Dakota isn't a real place. Also, I apologize if I offended anyone from North Dakota. It wasn't the biggest jump, but I couldn't build the publishing career I have in Chicago. So location has some factor. And don't get me wrong, some people do great work, they get noticed, and the big break comes. I just don't think that's the norm. And it's not because of a lack of talent, it just might be that the leap you're trying to make is too big. So you might need some stepping stones. I think the best stepping stone would be to get a job at an agency that works with larger brands, and even better if they're the brands that you are targeting. Your portfolio needs to speak the language of these brands. Have you worked on a large campaign before? Have you done activation, in-store, commercial, whatever have you? All of these things are necessary to get their attention. The other factor would be that applying online seems to be where applications go to die. I would say look for an internal referral or even a referral from a previous employee. You want to try to get through the door before they open it up for online applications. Also, you can't control who sees your portfolio. What you can control is how much your work looks like you deserve a seat at the table, and that will definitely find you more success. Hopefully something in here provided more clarity, or at the very least made you feel less alone. If you have any more comments, drop them below. Check out more content on the channel, and I'll see you next time.